All right, awesome. So it looks like we're live, but we're just going to give people a moment to roll on. I know they've had a busy day, so just give them a second. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure that y'all let me know where y'all are tuning in from. This is your girl, Shanita. You may have known that because of my voice. I actually got that today. That's why I said it.
Okay.
All right, awesome. So we're live here on Smash the Topic. Thank you all so much for tuning in. This is Mr. Sinrick Wilkerson. He reached out to Smash. He saw the work that we do on the platform, and so he just wanted to find a way to continue to help him spread his message. Correct? He is alleging that he was wrongfully convicted of rape here in Dallas, maybe out north, without any arraignments, any arrest, anything like that. Still no records. In fact, he's saying that, and in the records as well, when you Google that, the Dallas Police Department was the issuing, as far as the indictment, the issuing agency, the filing agency.
According to the DA's office, yes.
Okay, and then you've actually, and we're going to get into this, and you've actually tried to get those records, or they say they don't have them anymore,
They
or
said they don't have them and they didn't file the charges.
and that they did.
This is what the Dallas Police Department are claiming.
Okay, Sinrick. So if you can go ahead and just introduce yourself again, and then let the people know what you want them to know, and the Smash Squad will be the judge. Okay.
Okay, fine. My name is Sinrick Wilkerson. I'm currently 54 years old. I was convicted, and I'll say illegally, for some rape charges that never happened. My civil rights were violated, due process was violated. So to be prosecuted for rape charges, you would think that I would go through the due process as far as being arrested, being arraigned, having court appearances. None of that happened, but the DA's office, along with some of the officials from the Dallas Police Department, they manufactured up arrest dates. Because now there's like maybe 4 to 5 different arrest dates, and the police department can't come up with an arrest report for sexual assault and sexual performance. In
2008?
They filed the charges in 2010.
Correct.
They said I raped a girl with the gun to her head in 2008.
Is that true?
No, absolutely not. They said I held her down with a gun to her head and raped her. And the date that they said that these rapes allegedly were supposed to happen, I was at the gym playing basketball. April the 15th, 2008.
Turn your book around. As you can see, Sinrick has written actually a couple books. You want to take this one as well?
Yeah.
And so we'll kind of explain the cover on how I became, but as you can see, he has written this book. He, again, is claiming innocence.
Yes,
and so, we do know that there is a 50-50 chance that people, that's why we want to, Smash heard your story. He's a really, really great judge of character. So he can tell. It's so funny, y'all. Look, I have a little furry friend.
She wants to be around me all the time. She's my support. She wants to get over here. She's nosy.
Okay. So as we continue on, let me ask you, why rape out of all of the charges? Like, why would they say you raped somebody out of everything?
Well,
did someone run to the hospital and say, I got raped?
This person was in jail. I know I can't say her name.
Okay.
She was in jail on 3 felony charges, looking at 15 years. Okay. Right up under her nose. They found her. They went to her and said, hey, all you have to do is say he raped you with a gun to your head, and we're going to dismiss your charges. And that would put another, especially a black man, in prison for some rape that never happened. So they had to do something for her. So they released her on her charges. They gave her, and I know this from my private investigators telling me this, that they gave that girl $6,000 and sent her to Philadelphia.
So she's in Philadelphia?
She's in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And
you have not tried to contact her?
Absolutely not. No, I will not. But in 2020, she called the DA's office because some media people were trying to contact her and speak to her about Okay, this man said that you said that he raped you with a gun. She was sticking to that story. So then she called the DA's office, and the DA's office sent the police to my house.
And did what?
Got talked bad to by me because they came to my house knocking on my door. Hey, you're not in trouble, but here's the problem. I was
What
like,
year
what's the
is
problem?
this? What year?
This was in 2020.
2020.
This was actually
Wow, that's
this.
because the it's filed in 2010. So that's a whole decade
They,
almost.
because they're worried because they don't want this out.
Dallas
Okay.
Police Department.
The police department are like pretty much trying to wash their hands with it because they're saying that they didn't file the records. I've hired a private investigator from Mississippi,
Okay.
an old school white man with a cowboy hat and worn out boots. He traveled down. He went into the police department. He said, "All I want is the arrest reports. That's it." He got into a spit boxing match with them, and his language was bad, and they put him out. I was outside waiting on him, and they put him out. He was like, "Mr. Wilkerson, I have no idea why a lawyer won't jump on this and get rich." This is what he said.
Wow.
He said because
But you do have lawyers.
I have a lawyer that filed the 1107 writ of habeas corpus. I just got in contact with him yesterday. The courts don't want to hear my 1107. They put it in abatement. Now, for those that don't know the law, when you put something in abatement, that means they're putting it on hold. So they're telling us we need actual innocence before we want to hear this 1107. And I'm telling, like, really? Are you serious? Because I filed a lot of 1107 writ of habeas corpuses, and they cited me for writ abuse. And like I was telling my attorney, okay, I abused that, but I'm a pro se litigant. That's when an attorney from the free world can jump on that because everything I did has no merit because I'm not a licensed attorney. Okay, I was in the penitentiary filing these writs. They never answered it. If I was dead to the wrong, they would answer it and got on out the way.
I saw like one appeal you had. It was like 2012, and then it was like 2015 when they moved on it, or something to that effect. I'm not for sure,
Yeah.
but I do know that, and I also read somewhere in one of the writs that you you asked for a DNA test.
Yes, I asked for a DNA test. I filed.
Sorry, guys.
If let me speak some law for
Okay.
those that don't know. Any person that you see that's been to prison and on rape and go through exoneration, they have to get Chapter 64 DNA test. Okay, so I filed the DNA test on my own.
I
So
saw
it's
that
safe.
in the paperwork.
And if I'm indigent, they have to, by law, give me an attorney. The attorney that they assigned me, they had to brief her up and get her on board. Okay, so I had a court date. I went to the court. It was actually August the 23rd, 2013. And I went into the court, and the judge was like, okay, you've been arguing that you was never arrested and never arraigned. Before you go to trial, you have to be arrested and arraigned. That's the law. I said,
Fingerprinted?
never.
Were charged and later convicted for?
In 2008, I got charged with compelling prostitution. I was arrested September the 7th, 2008, and was released on bond the next day. Okay, for 2 years, I had court dates. I fought that charge. I hired an attorney that I graduated from college with. He said the charge was doo-doo, which I knew that, and he knew that. So 2 years later, they offered me 8 years probation. This trial lawyer never told me. Okay, you know his name. He never told me about this 8-year probation.
He's talking about his lawyer.
The trial lawyer.
Yes.
I would have never taken 8 years on something that I didn't do. Okay, so and he did not tell me about that. So that gave them more room to wait. We got to get him. We want him. Okay, so that's when they filed the sexual assault and the sexual performance in November. It was November the 22nd, 2010, according to the indictments and according to the DA's office documents. 2 days later, the indictments was filed, which is unheard of. Okay. Then what? December the 29th, 2010 is when they issued the arrest warrants.
Okay, so let's go back.
Okay.
For the people that don't know, that are just.
I didn't open January, February, March, until March of 2008, because I got rid of everybody that did drugs and all that stuff. And every person that worked there signed the lease agreement that stated clearly, no prostitution, no nudity. If you get, that protects me. If you get caught soliciting anything by undercover, that's on you. I'm protected by those documents. None of that never came into the trial, by the way. So you have to have a copy of your ID. You have to be 18 or older, 18 years old or older. Okay. This girl had false ID.
So let me ask, okay, stop right there.
Okay.
Because I once was in the staffing world.
Okay.
And as a branch manager, we trained the staff not, you don't ask questions, even like on voter registration, where it puts, the question is, are you a citizen of the United States?
Okay.
But we're not supposed to ask them that question. That is against the law.
Okay.
Nor are we supposed to ask people, basically just that again in any aspect. So, and that goes, can easily go with age, because they do turn in documents. So if where I'm going with this is that if a person that is not a citizen yet, maybe a resident or whatever the case, they bring documents in, they have their ID, they got their thing. If it's false, that is not on us, because we're not that authority to investigate. Okay. We're just taking information. So I do know that, that is a big part of many different industries. And so I can understand what you're saying with the false documentation and everything. Yes. Like, you think it's one thing, but you're still protecting yourself because you have it on file.
Exactly. Yes. So that's pretty much it. Like, I know the dates. Okay. She was there 3 days, didn't commit any prostitution acts in my place of business. Okay. So
what was she at your place of business? What role did she play?
She was one of the people,
massage,
one of the nude models. It was lingerie modeling. That's how it was advertised. But
okay.
This is an adult place of business.
Correct.
Okay.
I mean, you said that.
And I won't sugarcoat anything. My lifestyle was my lifestyle, but I am not a rapist.
Yeah, you said that to me the first time I met you.
You can call me the biggest pimp in the world. You can call me a kingpin drug dealer or whatever, which I don't associate with drugs, but I am not a rapist at all. And for them to do this to me, it's more than appalling, So that was how she, in this person that grew up with my brother that passed away. He was the one brought her to my place of business. Okay. She stayed at his house like a week. So that means he was having sex with a 16-year-old girl the entire time, So for her to wait 2 years again, every time she's in trouble, they're going to use me to get her out of trouble. Because when I called up to the office, I was at the gym playing basketball. It was April the 21st, 2008. I was contacted by 2 of the ladies that worked at that place. And they said, hey, this girl got drugs. She's this and that. She's going through the paperwork, getting her stuff. Because I kept everybody's documentations up there at that office. Okay. I didn't bring any of that to my home. And I said, I'm going to call the phone and ask her to leave. So long story short, I called. I wasn't polite at all. I said, get out. You got 15 minutes to be out, and I'll be up there in 20. I never showed up. I was playing basketball. I was not going to leave. 5 minutes later, one of the girls called back. They said, hey, she's gone. Okay, cool. That's the end of it. She looked like a man. I didn't advertise her. I didn't want her up there because she was ghetto, but I was struggling with trying to keep people up there and maintain this business. I regret even purchasing the place because it brought these type of problems. Okay. But I was protected because everybody signed the documents that said no nudity, no prostitution. You had your age. You was an independent contractor. You was free to come and go as you please, So that's when they arrested me because the girl she went to jail in Fort Worth. She was shoplifting at a mall.
This is 2 years later?
No. This is after I kicked her out of the place.
Okay.
I called up there.
Like within weeks, days?
A week and a half later, she got arrested
for
shoplifting. And this is not me just making this up. This is according to the documentation.
You're talking about court documents.
Court documents. She was arrested for shoplifting at a mall. In addition, she had a warrant for her arrest for being a runaway and an assault charge. Okay. So when she got arrested, she never said anything about me. Okay. Or my place of business until she got to juvenile. So when she got to juvenile, I want to get out of this. I want to get out of this because I figured her parents didn't want to deal with it anymore because she's a miscreant. So this is when this detective who have been after me for a long time, personal, and it was right
because he knew you in the industry, in the business world.
Industry.
Okay.
He could not touch me. Saw him at a strip club. He got in my face. Something happened. Don't you ever touch me. So it was personal because he was in there undercover.
You said Dallas police.
He was a detective.
Detective.
Yeah. So ever since then, he was out to get me. And this was his lucky day for this girl to mention this place, knowing that I was incorporated. My name was on all that. I had no shame in that. I incorporated that place because I bought the place that had been running since 1998.
Oh, wow.
Okay. I didn't even get a year into that place. I didn't get 10 months into that place. Okay.
Before this all happened.
And after that arrest, September 7, 2008, I sold the place less than 20 days. Sold the place, went on with my life, hired this attorney that I graduated from Howard Payne University with. When he got the discovery, he said, answer this question. I said, what? He said, how did they know that this girl was up there? So they had no idea until, they was going by what she said, which I will give them that. Yeah, she was up there 3 days. You have the paperwork. She was up there 3 days. Did not commit any forms of prostitution.
That you saw.
Wasn't what I saw. It's when you worked up there and you got a session, you have to log that in because I wanted to pay my taxes on this because I was incorporated. I want to know what's coming in. So when you get a session, you log your name in on there. Okay. So according to that office report for the compelling prostitution, this girl said that she did for 2.5 weeks, she did 5 to 6 prostitution dates a day.
For you.
At that place.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously? Nobody was doing that. That's crazy. But this is the police.
Did they interview anybody that worked there as witnesses to see if they were doing that, if they saw her doing it, or if she was forced to do it? They
went after everybody that was up there, and they was like, okay, we'll go to trial. That man ain't like that.
Did anybody testify against you? All the others at the thing saying that, yes, prostitution was happening?
My son's mother was the state's witness. Okay. When she took the stand, December the 16th, 2010, before that, the prosecutor and that detective cornered her in a room and said, if you don't say that Sin beat you, made you prostitute, and took your money, we're going to have CPS take your kids again. Okay? So I had no idea.
Dallas police said that?
Dallas police, the detective, I wish I could say his name, the prosecutor and the detective told her that. Okay? Because they took my son September 7, 2008. Me and my son was the only one at home when they kicked my doors in. Okay? Wouldn't tell me what I was being charged with, nothing. So we had to go through that CPS. And so when my son's mom told me, she said, this is what they told me, this and that. And I told her, I said, listen, I will die before my son go to CPS again. I said, you tell him whatever the hell you want to tell him to protect my son. Okay? Because I'm going to deal with this. So she said, all right. But this is what I told her. I said, you remember we hired one of the baddest CPS attorneys in Dallas, who's now a judge. And she said, Sin, they are after you. They're going to make up stuff. They're going to try to, she said, don't let them use this CPS for that criminal stuff because they can't do it. So when I reminded my son's mom of this, she's like, oh, okay. I had no idea what she was going to say during trial. So when she testified December 16, 2010, she got up on the witness stand. The DA was like, the prosecutor was like, okay, I got her. You can look in her face. The trial lawyer was like, what's she gonna say? I have no idea, bro. You didn't even tell me what you were gonna say. So when she got on the stand, the prosecutor was like, are you okay? She said, yeah, I'm just here to tell the truth. And the prosecutor stopped everything. She's like, what do you mean tell the truth? She said, I'm gonna tell the truth. Y'all want me to say that sin made me prostitute, beat me, took my money. He did not do any of that. Y'all said this man raped this girl with a gun. She said, I've been with that man almost 6 years and never seen a gun.
That's what I was about to ask you. Do you own a gun?
Never.
What about today?
Gun. No, I don't believe in guns. I am not bad with my hands, and I am not that type of person. Okay, but on God, I will protect myself. I don't need no weapon. The last time that I actually held the gun and shot a gun was in 1994 during my spring break at Howard Payne University. I was with one of my Muslim friends, and I'm not Muslim. We went to a gun range. I had to ask him how to load it, how to shoot it, and I closed my eyes and pointed at the target.
That sounds like me.
That is the last time I touched the gun because I don't believe in them. I had a son that lived with me. I watched too many movies. I've heard too many stories how a child gets access to a gun and they're dead. I simply don't believe.
Well, I watch a lot of Forensic Files and First 48, especially when I had my accident in the hospital. I watched, like, binge watched Forensic Files and the First 48. And so within that, they heavily rely, they would like DNA. You know, and guys, you be the judge. You guys have seen the shows. I do know that they try to find some type of DNA so that they can help solve the case. But in this case, what you're saying is that there is no DNA, there is no rape, there is nothing, and you want answers. Do you want exoneration?
Absolutely. I want exoneration. I want the entire world to know what they did to me.
Who is they?
The police department and the DA's office. And those crooked SOBs down there. They did this. This is not.
How many years did you do?
I did 7 years. And I want y'all to pay attention to this. I was in prison with guys that actually committed rape with a weapon and a gun. You either getting 60, 75 years. I know a dude that got 99 years. I know a brother got a double life sentence. You know, they gave me 8 years in a jury trial for raping a white woman with a gun to her head. 8.
Oh, sorry.
8. She's okay.
Sorry, doggy. This is his book. This is Sinrick's. I think this is your first book, correct?
I wrote that book in one day while I was in the penitentiary.
Oh, wow.
One day, I was, all I did was go to the law library. And the guys didn't warm up to me when I first went to the penitentiary. Nobody warmed up to me, which I didn't care. I was doing my own thing. So I went to the basketball court one day. I had a little Hispanic friend. He was 26 years old. I was 43 at the time. We sat at the table while I did my work and talked about basketball. I finally went out to the courts and got everybody's attention because to this day at 54, I can still play. To this day. And I got the attention to officers, to other guys. Now everybody want me to come to rec. Now they want to see me. So I went through that, and there was a officer, female, and she was a dyke, okay? And she pulled me to the side. She said, "Hey, where you hoop from? Where you hoop at? You don't, And I had pictures describing this lifestyle because that's all you got. It's telling stories, okay? And they were passing around a book, and it was like, "Say, man, you'll like this, you'll like this." So I read it. I'm like, "Y'all like this?" I'm like, "Dude, if y'all like that, let me write my story." So I set everything aside one day. I didn't even go to the law library, which is unusual. I missed breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I sat on the table one day, and I wrote this book. It's like 268 pages or 72 pages or something. Wrote it in one day. And this officer that I was telling you about, she said, "How did you go from playing ball to being in that lifestyle?" And I got tired of people asking me that question.
Because you played overseas.
I played in Europe, okay? Professional in Europe. And I got tired of telling the story, so I put it in the book, how I became to where I transitioned from this to that, this lifestyle. Okay. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't make me a rapist because I'm in this lifestyle. It does not make me a rapist. There's no way in hell that I would violate a woman like that. I have a mother that I adore, and I have a beautiful sister. And then my oldest sister, God rest her soul, we buried her almost 2 years ago. There is no way in hell. Because if somebody assaulted my sisters like that, I guarantee you I'll get arrested.
Okay.
Right.
So let's bring it all back together.
Okay.
And tell the people what you're asking for. Are you asking for their help to maybe do something, or do you want them to just share this story? Do you want them to spread the word?
Share the story, spread the word. I'm trying to raise money because I'm going to have to hire other attorneys.
Okay? How many do you have right now?
I have my attorney on the 1107.
The one I talked to?
The one you spoke to. And I'm worried about him in this situation because I know how the courts can get. The DA called me in 2018 before he got sworn in, and we were speaking law, and he tried to tell me, well, you didn't have to get arraigned because when the trial judge reads out the charges, that's an arraignment. So I cited case law to him. He laughed. He said, you're right. I know I'm right, former judge. He said, look, I'm going to help you. He said, I want you to get in touch with me after I get sworn in, and I'm going to get the integrity on this, and I'm going to get this off you.
Are you talking about the current DA?
I'm talking about the current DA.
Okay.
Now he don't want to touch it. A matter of fact, he signed a document for the Attorney General to not release any documentations to me.
Really?
Why? Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Yes. Not my friend. Really?
What?
Okay.
Really?
I'm gonna talk to him.
He know who I am.
Okay.
He knows who I am, and he know the situation. And it angers me because this is how we get. When black folks get in power, we don't look out for each other like they do, you know? And it makes me sick to my stomach. That's why I don't deal with black folks. I don't, because we always putting each other down. But when you get in power, help. I'm not just saying, hey, I'm finna just go help all the black people because, no, dude, if I committed these crimes, then damn it, I'm gonna eat that. Okay? I've been fighting this since they said guilty December 17, 2010. I knew something wasn't right. I sat in the courtroom going to this trial and was like, number one, I'm not dumb. Number two, I'm educated. I have a college degree. I worked hard for it. But that don't make me smarter than the next person. But at that moment, I was the stupidest black man in America to sit in a jury trial for some alleged rape, no arrest, no arraignment, no court dates, no discovery.
No DNA?
No DNA. Okay? And this lawyer, this black lawyer, sold me out. Looked at me, man, you like family. Are you serious, dude? What attorney? You can ask any attorney in the country. If you have a client, if they're looking for, if he's wanted for some rape and you're on the phone with him, 9 times out of 10, the attorney is going to say, hey, get you some money together. Let's get this. So get arrested, turn yourself in so you can have a bond, and I'm going to work the case. How is it that this attorney can tell me to leave the state and hide?
What?
Yes. He told me to leave the state and hide.
Isn't that illegal?
Everything they did is illegal.
Isn't that absconding?
Everything that they did is illegal, and they know it, and I'm coming after them, and I'm not going to stop. They're going to have to kill me because I'm not going to quit. Okay? So when he told me, I'm like, dude, I'm not running for nothing. And I didn't know what the charges were at the time. He just told me to leave the state and hide. When I told him I'm not going nowhere, he called me. That was a Monday, November the 29th, 2010. December the 3rd was a Friday. He said, can you meet me down at the courthouse? Now, mind you, on the 29th, he said, the FBI been tapping your phone. Dude, whatever. So, but he called me. Like, if the FBI is tapping my phone, aren't they going to hear you tell me to meet you at the courtroom? You got everything figured out? So when I show up at the courtroom, they made up some PR bonds. Number one, they don't give no personal reconnaissance bonds for no rape charges. They made them up. The judge signed them.
What is a PR bond?
A personal reconnaissance bond is a bond that's saying, on my own reconnaissance, I'm going to show up for every court day.
Meaning you don't have to pay about $50.
You don't have to pay usually you don't have to pay anything.
Okay.
Okay. But the thing is, if you look up personal repugnance, PR bond in the Black Law Dictionary, it says the release of a defendant. How can you release me while I'm not in prison? I mean, not in jail. You can't release me if I'm not incarcerated. Okay, so
Meaning in loose spirit.
They made everything up, and then 11 days later, I went to trial on the rape charges. 11 days later.
And the same detective was a part of this trial?
The same detective. He even testified.
He testified?
The same detective wrote me a letter in December of 2012. No, 2011. He wrote me a letter admitting that I was never arrested or arraigned. He admitted it. He said I didn't have to be because I was arrested for compelling prostitution. Serious? That's a totally allegedly forcing someone to prostitute is completely different than raping somebody with a gun. Okay?
And what you're saying, though, is either way, you didn't do either.
I didn't do any of it. I'm innocent of compelling prostitution. I don't mess with underage girls. I'm innocent of compelling prostitution. I'm innocent of sexual performance, and I'm innocent of sexual assault. And you know what that does to me right now? There's a woman that I've known for 24 years, used to be my best friend. We ended up getting involved, helped her get out of prison. To this day, she is angry because I will not take her back. You know what she tells people?
What?
That I rape her. People get mad at me because I don't give them their way. They'll say, oh, you had to rape them people.
Yeah, like O.J. Simpson. Like they never let O.J. live it down.
So you get mad at me, and so now I'm a rapist. But this person I'm talking about is in this book. And she's testifying. She has a testimony saying that she's known me for all this time. This man would never do that. Anybody that know me, no, I ain't no dadgum rapist. And I can't stand it. Okay. I have to register every 90 days for this mess.
Okay, awesome. So thank you so much for sharing your story. Again, Smashers and Smashettes, he has asked that you guys help him spread the word. He is looking to be exonerated as well as civil suit for civil damages that he's had to endure. And so is what he's saying. And so, yeah, is there one last thing that you want to say?
I noticed my Cash App is I'm looking for donations.
Trying to pay the lawyer.
I need donations for lawyers. I wouldn't care. My Cash App.
That's all. You know, this is if you feel like what you've heard is real.
It's $ capital M, small r, capital S, small e, small n. If you want to make any kind of donation, because it's going to go to my lawyer, you know. So that's all I'm trying to do, and it's hard living this life.
And you're sure?
I am absolutely.
You're positive.
100%, 1,000,000% innocent.
Okay.
Okay. Now think about it. I did 8. I did 7. Did a year on parole. I'm in the worst neighborhood. I have a nice car. You know, I'm not on the streets. Why would I be fighting this if I'm not innocent? This happened in 2010.
Yeah.
It's 2024, 14 years. Why would I just not let this go if I didn't?
Hoping that you didn't get caught, truly caught.
I'm innocent. And I'm still fighting, and I'm going to fight it. And thank God, my mother will be 88 in November. She has to be around to see this through because she was riding with me the whole time.
Yeah, that's what I asked you earlier, if your mom attended the trial.
No, she didn't.
Oh, that's right. That's
right.
Lawyer, can you talk about that real quick?
Real quick. This trial attorney contacted my mom by text and told my mother that she and nobody in my family could go to that trial. My brother that passed away in 2018, God rest his soul, he said, to hell with that. That's my little brother. I'm going anyway. My brother tried to go up in there. An officer escorted him out of Frank Crowley building.
In Dallas, Texas.
My brother called me that night.
Why are they escorting people out?
Because I didn't want nobody in there to hear this.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. I go inside of the courtrooms all the time and just sit down in places that I'm not on the docket or anything, but I just want to see what the judge is doing, you know, how they're treating people. And I just go in and sometimes randomly sit down in trials and they don't say anything to me.
Well, this particular trial was not even, it was tried in the auxiliary court, in a courtroom where they decipher bond hearings. The trial judge was voted off the bench in 2005 or 2006 for sending a black man to prison for life for marijuana and giving a white man probation for murder. That's who they had do this trial.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's wicked.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Sinric. You guys can just hit rewind.
Get
Make
this book.
sure you guys take a look a little further into the case. You guys be the judge. Let us know what you think. Please hit share. Thank y'all for tuning in to Smash the Topic. This is your girl, Shanita Cleveland, and I am your urban princess.